Hello and welcome! In this video, we will discover the best ways to study more effectively. Despite one's efforts and good intentions, it is not always easy to learn lessons, to remember pages and pages of coursework, data, dates, formulas. Moreover, when faced with a lot of information to remember, we gradually lose all motivation, which can be understandable. But studying, learning, and memorizing your lessons actually involves many different psychological and cerebral mechanisms. Many factors influence the way you study. Understanding them better can influence the different ways of revising them to be much more productive. So, to pass your exam, obtain your diploma, or simply study better, let's look at the different ways to study more effectively, from creating an ideal work environment to setting up a schedule or even the quality of your sleep. If you wish to succeed, then leave nothing to chance. Study more effectively and obtain your diploma. But first, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to download your free book to change your life by clicking on the link in the description below the video. 1. Create an appropriate work environment. Although it is sometimes overlooked, our study environment directly influences our memory capacity. If you plan to study in the family room in the midst of your brothers and sisters who quarrel while playing in a noisy environment with the television on and using a small work table, you will waste time and have an unproductive study session. For your brain to assimilate information, it is better to create an environment conducive to memorization. To accomplish this in order to study more effectively, it is therefore recommended to work in a quiet place, isolated from the rest of the house or family. Work in silence or with soft music in the background. Classical music is known to stimulate brain capacity. Work on a tidy desk. Organize your work table and avoid having piles of books and papers. Work at a good pace. Ideally, it is recommended to study during the day in daylight for 1 hour before taking a 20-minute break. If you have to work in the evening, or it is your preference, it is advisable to study under good lighting. The brightness stimulates your brain activity. Finally, although you may feel reassured to read your lesson before going to sleep, never work in your bed. Keep your bed exclusively for relaxing. This is essential. 2. Set up a work schedule. Your exams are in a few months, in a few weeks, and for that, you have to study, revise, and learn a whole year's course. To study effectively, especially when faced with a heavy workload, there is nothing like setting up a work schedule. The work schedule should list the different subjects and chapters that have to be covered throughout the week. There should also be time slots for studying as well as times for relaxation. Set goals for yourself, which will allow you to fight against the more than normal feeling of being totally demotivated while facing all these lessons to be learned. 3. To retain information, you have to learn it 3 times. Various studies carried out on memory have shown that to memorize information, the brain must read it 3 times at least. Keep this in mind and make adaptations to how you learn your lessons to study more effectively. Follow this rhythm and vary the ways of learning. Use revision sheets, review the lesson the night before. 4. Take over your lessons. When it comes to learning, we always find the by-heart supporters. Many of you still consider that learning your history lesson by heart will be enough to memorize it as well. However, to study more effectively, it is essential to take ownership of the course content for the lesson. There are many ways to achieve this, including creating a revision sheet, creating a story around your lesson, telling someone the lesson, or creating diagrams to learn your lesson. 5. You keep a full focus for 20 minutes per hour. To study more effectively, it is important to understand how the brain works. If you think you can study effectively by sitting in front of your lessons for 4 hours in a row, we are sorry to tell you that under these conditions, you will not be very productive. According to studies conducted on human concentration, our brains are fully focused for 20 minutes out of an hour. You can use this knowledge to change your study habits so that they are more effective. Why not use a timer? Set it for 20 to 25 minutes and focus fully on one lesson during that time before taking a 2-minute break and moving on to the next lesson. 6. Vary the subjects of study to be more effective. You have to revise your lessons in economics, philosophy, psychology, or the basics of physics. When faced with such a workload, many people choose to focus on one subject at a time. However, to study more effectively, it is essential to vary the topics and lessons. So give yourself an hour to study for your economics class, then take a break of about 10 minutes before working for an hour on your psychology classes. This way, you retain the different information more effectively and avoid becoming demoralized. 7. Learn your lessons in different ways. We all have our unique study habits. Some people pace up and down with their lesson books in their hands, while others write their revision sheets and color code with highlighters. There are many different ways to study to suit different personalities. It's easy to continue to revise using the method we are most accustomed to, but this is a mistake. In fact, according to research, by varying the learning conditions, you not only force your brain to be more attentive, but you also write the information in different areas of your memory, which allows for a more effective study. So to study your English lesson, start by repeating it aloud on Monday and recite it to your family on Thursday. Ideally, it takes 3 days between 2 learning sessions to anchor the information in your brain. On the exam day, you will notice how much information comes back to you in an almost disconcerting simplicity. 8. Understanding the role of sleep in learning. When we sleep, although we are unaware of it, our brain sorts and processes all the information perceived during the day. Thus, neuroscientists emphasize the role of sleep in learning, especially during the repetition and consolidation phase. From this perspective, to study effectively and contrary to the stereotypes of the student working all night before going to his exam the next morning, it's preferable to get a good night's sleep, and if necessary, do not hesitate to take a few naps during the review days. 9. No more last-minute revisions. You barely opened your eyes before remembering that the exam is this morning. Faced with the stress you are under, you are then tempted to take out your notebooks, sheets, and revision notes to learn your lesson once again. Know this. This approach is extremely harmful. Not only will your brain not have enough time to fully anchor the information, but you may also end up mixing up the information. Moreover, unconsciously, you only reinforce your stress, which is not very positive. So on the morning of your exam, focus on yourself and only on yourself. And finally, don't forget to take care of yourself. When faced with the stress of exams and your desire to succeed, you are doing only one thing: studying, and this is understandable and honorable. And it's been going on for days and weeks. You spend your days locked in your room learning and working on the lessons. Since you are stressed, you do not sleep well, you do not eat well, you do not breathe. There's nothing wrong and more harmful than using this method to learn. In fact, to study effectively, taking care of yourself is essential. This includes eating balanced meals. Tip: to consume omega-3, it is known to strengthen memory, and having a good lifestyle. Also, think about going out, getting some fresh air, away from your classes and lessons, a great way to ease the pressure. Finally, do not hesitate to practice a physical activity. Running, yoga, football, swimming pool. The released endorphin helps to regulate your stress, but will also improve your brain capacities. Sports being excellent to fight against neurodegenerative diseases. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, comment, and especially subscribe to the channel. You are also free to receive the new book, 7 Secrets to Change Your Life Now, by clicking on the link in the description below the video.